Sleep is a wonderful thing, and something you don't realize how valuable it is until you lose it. In July of this last summer, 2024, I had to deal without sleep, getting sick towards the end of my missions trip I had down there, as well as not really speaking the language. So dealing with all three of those things while in a foreign nation where I don't understand the culture whatsoever, that's when I believe I was at my best. To start off the trip, our flight left at 5 in the morning. So we all decided we were going to leave at midnight to get there 3 hours early because that's just what you do for airport travel. So the night before, I could not fall asleep because I was so excited for the trip. I didn't fall asleep until 11 o'clock, so I only got 1 hour of sleep going into this trip, which is already just a great start. Getting there was fine, and the travel down was fine. Airports are always bad, but relatively speaking, it was pretty good. Once we got down there, we had to go through the lovely 2-hour bus ride through the San Jose traffic, San Jose has the worst traffic anywhere I've ever been. It's terrible. When we got to the place we were staying, which was a place called Sendas, it was a seminary in San Jose. We were all told everybody would have a nice mattress on a bed frame in a house-ish looking thing. But the week before we got there, it rained a lot, and so the pathway to get down to that housing was all muddy, and the buses that would have taken us out of there did not want to go down there. So we ended up having to stay on the floor in the chapel building at the Sendas, which I was fine with, except for the main fact of lack of sleep. We were sleeping on pretty thin mattresses on a cement floor, so the most amount of sleep I ever got one night was 5 hours. And that was broken sleep too. It wasn't just 5 hours straight. I slept for 3 hours, woke up, 2 hours, woke up, and it was not good. There were also animals everywhere because we're in a jungle. So one morning, it was pretty funny. These 2 parrots were just sitting outside the chapel. They were just chattering away. Whenever somebody came out to see what was going on, the parrots just looked down at them judgingly and then went back to talking to each other. It was kind of funny, but not the wake-up call you want when you're getting not enough sleep. Overall, the majority of the trip was great. We worked with a church in one of the poorer parts of the city, and then we worked in a school nearby because the church didn't have a big enough place to support the VBS that we were doing. So we did that, and we did some construction, and that was all fine, and that's what we did the majority of the week. On Thursday, towards the end of the day, I started to not feel well, which for me is normal. The same thing happened to me when I went to Colombia, and when I went on the band trip to Myrtle Beach. Towards the end of the trip, I just get exhausted, and so I start to get a little sick. So that made me instantly worried because the next day was supposed to be the fun day, which I wanted to go to a lot, which my mom ended up being like, yeah, you gotta go. You don't want to miss this. So despite the fact that I was sick, I got on that bus and we went down. We were going to go to 2 places. The first place we went to was this waterfall gardens place, which was beautiful. There was waterfalls, there were animals. Got the first real American food in a week. It was amazing. And it was really refreshing, and it made me feel great again. The next place we were going was a Starbucks plantation, also by San Jose, which has this type of coffee that can be found that they don't sell anywhere else in the world. And so my mom, being a big coffee drinker, really wanted to go. So we got on that bus, and on the way there, the main road to get to the coffee plantation, there was a car accident. So we had to go around this valley area. We ended up going around, and then the bus driver was like, okay, let's go down into this valley, which the valley was not bus condoned. The buses definitely should not have been down there. We almost fell off the road going around one turn. And then at the bottom of the valley, there was it was pretty small, but it was rapidy, this big river. So the bus driver had us all get off of the bus, walk across, while there's still traffic going down and through the valley. So the bus takes up the majority of the road, and there's still cars going off to the side of a dirt edge trying to get around it. So people are walking, and most of the people we're there with, because there's about 100 of us from the Minnesota area that are on this trip. The majority of them have never been outside of the Midwest, basically. So culturally, they did. I mean, I had at least been to Colombia, so I knew a little bit of how outside America work, but they were lost. So that was another added difficulty, trying to keep them from doing really stupid things. But we ended up getting out of the valley. It was fine. We had a nice, easy 5-hour bus ride back because Costa Rica traffic. And the main reason, I mean, it sounds like this trip is terrible, but I would 100% do it again. Like doing all the stuff at the mission site and the church, it was amazing. I would do it again in a heartbeat. But being able to do all those things with being sick, not getting near enough sleep, and not understanding the culture fully was why I believe that's when I was at my personal best. Thank you for listening to my speech.